when I started in this company, so when I started in this company, uh, I think I was already engaged. And one of my questions for Randy, my CEO, is how do you feel about, being a working mother? And what's the like those were, and I had never asked that before in any jobs, but I think it was very important to understand the company culture around me being able to be a mom, understanding the time off, even though I never took any. But I think it's important that if that's something that you have in your plans, ask ahead. Going back to, is that the right place for you? Is even if you're at a current job, you're not applying for a new job. If you're at a current job, you should be able to have a conversation with your boss and say, "I'm thinking of getting pregnant," and just watching their reaction. And if the reaction is not positive before you get pregnant, you should probably start applying for a new job.
But I do believe there are women who are afraid to ask that question. For me, I remember the question that I used to be afraid to ask was, and not in the, not verbatim, but how do you feel about work life balance, or what's the work life balance in the culture? I was afraid, and you shouldn't be afraid. You should have a life. But I think we have been conditioned to believe that when you enter, corporate world, it's like you owe them blood, sweat, and tears. You're still human. You still want a life. And I do believe you can have both without selling your soul.